Welcome back to TV5 News at 9. Today we are talking about a very important topic, firearm safety and preventing accidental shootings. Here to tell us more is Jason Bennett and Kevin Blazier, co-founders of Applied Training Solutions, LLC. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Of course. So Jason, just to begin, give us a little background on Applied Training Solutions and what it is you guys do.
So we have the vision of building a community of competent shooters, and that starts out with firearm safety. We've been in the community for 5 years. We've trained over 1,200 students at this point, and we really have that focus on bringing safety and firearms ownership together.
And remind our viewers where you're located.
We're located in the Midland Mall.
All right. And Kevin, why is talking about firearm safety so important for families?
Well, if you don't talk about something, you're kind of ignoring the issue. So if you have firearms in the house or you intend on using firearms to protect yourself, everyone has to be aware of it. You know, so you don't shield children from a hot stove. You talk about it and say this is dangerous, but it's a useful tool, and that's why having these conversations is so important across the entire family dynamic. And
talking about the recent Michigan storage law, are there any recent changes to that people should be aware of?
Well, it's the same law. But if you've got minors in the house, you have to render the firearm inoperable against unauthorized use. So you're either using, cable locks or trigger guards, or the best solution is putting it in a safe. But you've got to balance that with the safety. A firearm in a safe isn't going to help protect you against a home invasion.
Right.
So you've just got to understand how the rules are and then build your safety plan around those.
All right. And Jason, if parents do have firearms in their home and they want to have that conversation with their kids on protection and prevention, how should they go about starting that conversation, especially with teenagers?
So with teenagers, we want to have every conversation be age appropriate. With teenagers, it's a little bit easier because they're going to have a maturity level that allows them to understand firearm safety and operation. Having said that, you really have to look at each child as an individual and find out where they are maturity-wise and their ability to understand. We've had kids as young as 8 in our training center training with firearms. And then we've had some parents come in with older children. I'm like, they're just not at a maturity level at this point to be able to understand the 4 universal safety rules.
What age would you recommend for your training to start?
Training can start as soon as the child can understand directions and be able to understand and follow the 4 universal safety rules. I grew up in a household where my dad started taking me out to the range at 5 years old.
Wow.
That's probably an anomaly, right? I was a very responsible child. But that was my dad looking at me and saying, all right, here's the rules. If you want to shoot, all you have to do is ask. We'll get the firearms out, we'll look at them, we'll do whatever, but these are tools and they're a dangerous item. And I was able to understand that. So if your child has the capability of understanding that, then firearms training can go right along.
And as a kid, do you feel like you did benefit from that?
Oh, 100%.
All right. Kevin, also, any suggestions on where parents should store guns if they want to safely store a firearm in their home? Where are some safe places to keep them away from little kids?
It's largely going to be dependent on the layout of the house and everything else. Basement safes are a good option. It's in the basement. It's in a safe.
Right.
It's difficult for children to open those. You're just looking at the location. If you're in an apartment, a lockbox that's outside of their reach.
Yes.
But you don't want to make it too hidden, because then children have a natural curiosity and they tend to climb on things and find stuff that they shouldn't probably get into. So just having those conversations of, this is a tool, let them hold on to it. When it's unloaded, you render it safe. All of those things take those kind of temptations away, and then they understand that, you know, it's a tool for a proper use. No different than a hammer in a toolbox. You know, you're just teaching those things and making them aware that it's dangerous, but it can be used properly.
All right. Well, anything else you would like our viewers to know about your company and the services you guys provide? Jason, we'll let you take it away.
So we run CPL classes, concealed pistol license classes, the second and third Saturday of every month. If you've never shot a firearm, concealed pistol license class is a great introductory start to that.
Okay. We
have a digital range inside the Midland Mall. So if you're apprehensive about shooting a real firearm, we've got digital simulators that allow you to train in a safe environment without having to worry about that noise and having a real projectile come out.
All right, good to know. Well, thank you both for being here this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For more information, you can always visit our website. We'll have a link in the hot link section, WNEM.com.